Omar, welcome to the cave. Thank you for joining me today.
Glad to be here, brother.
You've been, I guess, mentioned right before we went on the air, you've been very busy. You just finished the last season of Queen Sugar. You've been on Power Book Raising, Canaan, Halloween Ends a couple months ago. You got a new show coming out. You've been a very busy person from all the research I did last night.
You know what's so crazy, man? I think over the last 2 months, I said that I'm going to take a little break. So this is the longest I've had off in probably about 13 years, man, and I'm loving it.
It's awesome. Before we jump more into your projects and everything, I was doing some research. Like I said, born in Georgia.
Yeah.
What made you get to the acting world, man? What hit you with the bug?
My mother used to be a theater director, so I used to go to rehearsals with her when I was like 2 and 3 years old, and just watching. And I was always like, "That's what I want to do when I grow up." I wanted to either be an actor, or be the president of the United States, or be an astronaut. So I think one of them was more tangible than the other one to me. So yeah, my mother was training me when I was a kid. I went to performing art high school, went to college, got all my degrees and everything, and acting in the theater and in film. So yeah, man, that's just what I did. It's the family business because now my daughter's in it too. So yeah.
That's awesome. What's the best advice that your mom gave you when you jumped into the industry?
Learn your script. I tell everybody that, man. Everybody tries to I hate to see people with scripts in their hands. I'm like, just learn your script. You can have fun after that. You can do whatever you want to. If you know your lines, and you can be able to play it however you want to.
What's the best advice that somebody else has given you in the industry throughout the career you've had so far?
Stick to it. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. Everybody wants to be famous after their first movie. My first movie was 1999, and that was Road Trip, right? It's a cult classic. The next year after that, I did Drumline, cult classics. But it's like, you got to keep it going. I've seen so many people in this business. They might pop one year and might rest on their laurels, and next thing you know, man, they're off. They're done. The industry's forgotten about them because they didn't continue to work and continue to roll with just continue to roll with it. So, just got to remember to set yourself up for the marathon.
You mentioned your daughter's now starting to get into it.
Yeah, she is. She graduated from college 2 years ago. She's more taking the route of my mother. She's more of a director and a writer. But yeah, she worked on Queen Sugar. She worked on Cherish the Day. She worked on Naomi. Oh, she worked on a lot of shows with Ava DuVernay. I'll just say that. Ava continues to hire her, but now she's working with Dion Cole on his new show. So yeah, she's been working.
That sounds. You mentioned writing and directing now. Is there like a project that you guys want to work together someday, like behind the scenes, or even like she writes it and you're in it?
Yeah, we talked about that. She already has it because you know what it is. She used to hang out with me and a lot of my friends, a lot of my guy friends, and she thought we were like she in her mind. I guess she thought we were like going to strip clubs or whatever, or doing whatever. And all we do is just be old men sitting back smoking cigars, drinking bourbon, talking about the 1990s. And she was like, "Well, I just want to write a whole story about that." Because what happened is she hung out with me, and I'm Anthony Mackie, and then it was Glenn Turman and Richard Roundtree, who of course played Chef. And it was two generations of just black men. She said, "I want to write a story about that." So that was real cool.
That's awesome. It's awesome. What do you think's been the biggest influence in your career so far? Is there like somebody that you look up to also? You kind of like not like model yourself after, but like you study their work to make your craft better?
Sam Jackson. Sam Jackson. He's the coolest man in the world. I told him, I said, I want to take that title from you in a few years, man. But yeah, that's my guy. He always has just helpful advice anytime I go to him. Wendell Pierce is another person like that. These guys, man, I just see their whole careers. And I've always wanted to be Sam Jackson. When Sam Jackson was doing small roles, like in Coming to America or like in School, right. I was like, he was the highlight of the movie every time I watched it. And I used to always tell people, that might have been like in the early 90s or late 80s. I said, he's the best actor in the world. Everybody was like, the guy who had 3 lines. I'm like, yeah, because I couldn't take my eyes off of him. So yeah, so Sam Jackson is definitely there. Wendell Pierce is too. And it's crazy because they're both on Broadway right now. Sam is doing Piano Lesson, and I saw the opening night of that. And then Wendell is doing Death of a Salesman, and I got a chance to see that one too. So man, they're both killing it. Their careers are just through the roof.
I mentioned earlier, you've done so many wonderful projects. Is there one that sticks out the most that's been your favorite you've worked on?
You know what? The most impactful has had to be Queen Sugar, which this is our series finale coming up very soon. That's the one, man, because it really gave me a chance to stretch and gave people a chance to see different parts of me. I think Ava has done that a whole lot for me, from When They See Us to Selma to everything that she puts me in. Cherish Today, anything she puts me in, she gives me these characters that really stretch me and like make people see me in a different light. It's so funny. Like back before Queen Sugar, the roles that I would get offered, not the ones I'd audition for with it, but the ones I get offered were always like little gangstery or something like that. And the ones I get offered now are more like family man and whatever, especially police officers, because I do Halloween movies. But yeah, it's the post Queen Sugar part of my career that has been the most it's been very gratifying, and I think it all stems from Queen Sugar.
What's been your favorite kind of role? Because you mentioned like that, those tones are like comedy, drama,
Yeah. You know what? I like them all. I think I do like playing a bad guy a little bit. Raising Canaan was so much fun, man. It was so much fun. I got to be this badass, but it was a dude who was like a lover of art and a fine wine and this, that, and the other. But in the back of his mind and his whole makeup, he's really he's really a tough dude. It was a fun role to play. I'm really excited to see what Chuck Lorre's going to do for this new show that I'm doing on HBO Max with Sebastian Maniscalco. It's called How to Be a Bookie, and we play bookies. And it's I play a bookie, but I don't play like a really tough guy. I mean, I am a tough guy, but the good thing about me is like my size is what it is, so I don't have to be a tough guy. But I play a bookie, so that'll be fun to see. And when I read the first script, I said, "Oh, this is really funny," until it gets a little bit right there, which is really cool because I haven't seen a lot of Chuck. I haven't seen Chuck do that a whole lot. His stuff is always funny. It's always How I Met Your Mother and Two and a Half Men and things like that. But this is a totally different type of thing that he's writing. It's him and I'm Nick Bakay, so it's going to be real fun.
When are we expecting that series to drop? Because when I was reading that, I was like, whenever Chuck touches something, it turns into gold, pretty much.
It's gold, man. It's gold.
Yeah.
You know what? I don't know. We start shooting in February.
Okay.
You know how HBO sometimes they'll shoot something and it won't come out for a year. So I don't really know, but I know Peacemaker came out pretty quickly because I have one of my friends, Danielle Brooks, is on Peacemaker, and I remember when it was shooting it and when it came out, and I was like, okay, that was a pretty good quick turnaround on HBO Max. So I don't really know, but yeah, man, everything Chuck touches turns to gold. And it's crazy because I thought that everybody knew who I was. He didn't even know who I was when I came in the audition. He was just like, I didn't even know. He's like, I'm glad I know who you are now, so that was really cool. That I actually got to audition for somebody and they didn't know who I was and I got the role. And that was really cool. I like that a lot.
Does Omar have a dream role that he wants to play someday? Is there like one more thing you want to hit in your list of things you've done?
There's a lot of them, man. It's a lot. I would like to play the Green Lantern. I like to play John Stewart. I would like to play Paul Robeson. I would love to play Thelonious Monk. There's a lot of roles that I'm still young, man. I got like a good 30, 40 years left in this industry, in this business. I got until forever, man. You know what I'm saying? To keep going. So if there are roles out there, I like to play Blue Marvel, there's some cool stuff out there. I'm about to go hit the gym as soon as I get off the horn with you, man, because I'm trying to get my Anthony Mackie on. You know what I'm saying? I want to get my action star on because I've done the drama and I've done the comedy. So that's the next thing for me for sure.
We mentioned now Queen Sugar 7th season. How does that make you feel, man? A lot of people love this show. They tune in as a big fan group out there. What makes this show so special?
It's a family show, man. It's just about family, and you don't really get a chance to see it when it's not messy, when it's not like a complex. Families are complex as it is, but it's not illegal and it's nothing like that, right? It's not I love Sopranos, amazing show. Breaking Bad, tremendous shows. These are family shows also, especially Sopranos. But this is just a show about regular people who we all are, and the things that we go through. Throughout the year, throughout the day, throughout the week, throughout the month, throughout life, the goods and the bads, the weddings and the funerals, the births, You know, it's all of that, and when we're able to encapsulate in 7 years, it's a lifetime, man. It's 7 years on a television show.
Right.
It's almost unheard of nowadays, you know. So I'm just extremely blessed that I've been a part of that. I know I put on Twitter today. I don't even tweet a lot, but I say this ride has been amazing. It's been wild, you know, and and I just thank Ava because she said she wrote the role for me before anything. I remember I was doing a movie in the Bahamas. She called me, told me to read a script, look at Hollywood. I said, what do you think about it? I said, I absolutely love that character. You know, when do you want me to audition for it? She said, no, Omar, I wrote it for you. So,
Wow.
that touched me, man. Like, this is how you see me. And Hollywood is just like the most genuine, great, family man that he can be. And it's beautiful because it's like also the way that I have started to live my life, being more in those steps of what Hollywood Desonier is. So it's been a blessing just to play that role.
What did you love about Hollywood?
Man, he's so cool. And the fact that he is cool and nice as he is, you can't cross his family. You cross his family, it's gonna be a price to pay. He's gonna smack you up. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna find you, but it's just that dedication that he has to his wife and to his whole family. And he is the protector of that family, and I call him the Yoda of the Bordelon family. He's the one who has all of this wisdom that he just drops on you a little bit and just let it go. I told you what I said. I'm not going to beat you over the head with it,
right?
But just a little something. So I really do love that character.
I could tell you have very strong family values, just the way you talk about everything. Did you find this character like easy for you to play because of that value?
I tell you honestly, when I first started playing it, I was trying to find it, trying to find the character. I don't really know. And then I just looked at my brother, my late great brother, Oliver Dorsey, passed away a couple of years ago. And I said, you know what, I want to play my brother in this. Implement a little bit of my brother mannerisms and all of that. So that's what it ended up being, a lot of Oliver Dorsey II, a lot of it, because he's a man who I really was like patterning my life to be. I knew I didn't have as much, patience and love. I do have that love, but that patience and that wisdom that my brother had. So yeah, a lot of that is patterned after my brother, and I'm proud to say so too.
Do you ever go back and watch older episodes now and watching your character and you see your brother in it?
You know what? I think the turn came maybe like in the middle of season 1 when I was like, oh, okay, this is what it is. So I do go back and watch a couple of those episodes sometimes, just my favorite ones I go back and watch, The Wedding is one in particular. Yeah. It might have been the season finale of season 3. And season 1, I think maybe episode 6 or something, when my ex-wife comes into our barbecue and wreaks havoc. It's all of that. And that's when Vi puts Hollywood out of the house for a couple of weeks, a couple of episodes, but he finds a way to get back in. But yeah.
How would you describe now Hollywood's journey from season 1 to now?
You know what? It's so funny. So Hollywood was just like a fan favorite, character in season 1. A really good guy. The thing about it is I probably was only in I might have been like 10 out of 13 episodes, but Hollywood kept going back to the rigs or whatever because he was working these offshore shoremen, he was working offshore. So for the first season he was in 13, and then he was the boyfriend of the matriarch of the family. Yeah. And then he became a part of the family. And then he became almost the patriarch of the family by the end. But it's also the relationship between Hollywood and Vi that got strong. He was a boyfriend, whatever. They broke up, then they got back together. And then, because when they broke up, he was just like, yo, I'm done. And by the end of the last episode of season 1, Vi comes back and says, I want you back or whatever. And season 2 is them together, and then by season 3 he becomes her husband, and that's a totally different thing. So I think the trajectory of Hollywood it's been amazing because he moves into the neighborhood, and then he becomes a part of the neighborhood. Like now he's running for office in town. He owns 2 businesses. He owns Buys Pies, and he owns his own. He has a restaurant for his wife, Buys Pies, and he has his own place, The Real Spot. So I think he became integral to that whole community. He became like, the big homie in the community. He had a place called the Real Spot where all the men can come and talk and go through whatever they're going through in life and just lay their burdens down by their riverside. So, that trajectory, that character has been tremendous. And I loved watching it over the 7-year stretch.
So there's been 7 years. Do you think there was more story they could tell?
I don't know. I don't know. I think nothing is completion, especially this finale episode. I think I think that's the story. I think that's what it is. This finale is going to be 2 hours long. It's a movie.
Yeah.
So I think 2 hours, to wrap everything up. I think that's the story that can be told. And it's amazing that we lasted, for 7 years. Usually I lose interest in the show after about 3 or 4 years. But this one I just kept, and it's not because I'm in it. I was like, these storylines keep getting really good. If I wasn't in it, I'd still be watching it. And it's today, I don't know when this is going to come out, but today is the final episode. It's airing tonight. And I'm looking at my social media, my Instagram and my Twitter, and I'm just seeing so many people are lamenting the fact that this is the last. But yeah, I think a lot of people are going to be, it's going to be missed by a lot of people. But thank God for Hulu, because you can watch it every day if you wanted to. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What's one thing you want to tell the fans since it's ending tonight also?
Man, you know what? I just want to say thank you for coming along on this ride with us. I remember the first episode we did, I talked to Ava. The first 2 episodes, I was like, hey, you think anybody's going to like this? She was like, I don't know, Omar, it's so heavy, but I said, it's so fun too. And we were just talking and talking. And I remember when the first time I watched the pilot episode, and man, I broke down crying in tears, man, because it was so good. And then when we showed it to the audience, it was at Essence Fest 2016. And everybody loved it so much, and they just commented on it. And I'd never been a part of anything like that, but it's just the ride from that moment. Essence Fest 2016, we had a booth. Nobody knew who we were. We had a booth, and we were signing stuff. We were taking pictures with everybody. And then just fast forward 6, 7 years later, and what it's become, when we walk through Essence Fest now, we need security. It's crazy, right? But yeah, that's what's happened. And it's just been a tremendous ride, man. And I'm glad for all the fans coming along with us. And I love them all too. I've come to become friends with, quite a few people, who I've met on Twitter. And then, next thing you know, that I'll see them out, and then we'll exchange numbers. So yeah, it's a lot of people like that. And I'm just so happy and proud of what we've accomplished. And it's been tremendous.
That's amazing. Now, we mentioned also you have How to Be a Bookie.
Yes.
You're going to start working on in February. Now, is there anything else that you're allowed to tell us about? Are you coming out or about to work on also?
I have another film, Water Boys, coming out. I don't know when the date on that is. It's about back in Atlanta. There are these kids who if they're outside, like if they're on the exit or whatever, they're selling waters to everybody, trying to sell you waters. But it's also, and they've been around for a while, and it's very intriguing because I ask them, I'll buy some waters from them. I might end up giving them like $100 and just ask them a question like, yo, what are you doing? What's going on? I'm trying to play football. I'm doing this, so I'm going to college or whatever, And then, they give me a good enough story. I'll give them some money. I give them money, if it's whatever, a couple of dollars for whatever, even if I don't need no water. But it's a story about one of those kids, and I become a mentor to the guy who's the who is the water boy, and he begins to like follow my path, and like I play a business owner, and he I want him to come in and work for me. I'll play a guy who owns a graphic design place, and he says he wants to be an artist, so we build a good rapport, and that's going to be really cool, man. I'm really excited about that one.
Is this not going to be on streaming, or do you know where it's going to?
It'll probably be on streaming. Everything's on streaming now, but I hope it'll get a nice festival run. It's a nice independent film, so I hope it'll get some kind of festival run and some kind of limited run in the movies. But it's like everything right now is streaming. But shoot, when they put out Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends on streaming, I was like, well, That's the world we living in now.
Right, right.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome. And Omar, now to end this interview, how can now the listeners and viewers find you on social media to keep up with your projects and everything?
Yeah, for sure. You can keep up with me. I'm on Instagram really heavy, and I'm on Twitter, like I said, off and on. But and even Facebook, I'm at Omar J Dorsey. That's on all the platforms. Yeah.
All right, Omar, this was great. Thank you for giving me a few minutes today. Enjoy your workout after this interview, and
Definitely.
thank you for coming on.
All right, thank you.